Shalom uvracha from Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. With the help of God, we continue our joint study this evening of Pirkei Avot, of the ethics of the fathers, the chapters of the fathers. We are studying this evening chapter 2, Mishnah 8, and this is actually part 8 of Mishnah 8. We've been studying this Mishnah for a long time. This is our 8th section of study on this Mishnah. Perek Bet, Mishnah Het. And we are studying the teachings of Hillel. Hillel shares with us insights into those levels of behavior where, as a result of increasing certain phenomena, we also increase other phenomena together with them. And his example of study this evening is the section of Marbeh Tzedakah, Marbeh Shalom. Those people following in the text, the end of Mishnah Het, towards the end of Mishnah Het. Marbeh Tzedakah, Marbeh Shalom. Increasing charity increases peace. If you increase levels of tzedakah, then you're increasing shalom in the world. And of course, part of the analysis that we'll try to share this evening is what is the connection between giving charity and establishing peace. Those are not necessarily two values that we commonly associate with each other. Why is tzedakah juxtaposed to shalom? Marbeh tzedakah, teaches Hillel, Marbeh shalom. According to certain interpretations, according to certain levels of thought and analysis in the commentaries, the reason for this statement is because often there is hatred and enmity, jealousy, rivalry between those people who are blessed to have money and those people who are blessed not to have money. There's a certain conflict between the aniyim and the ashirim. And very often, the poor person struggling in life, the destitute individual, feels embittered spirit. They feel angry. They feel, why should that person have everything she needs? Why should that person have everything he needs? Why should he be living such a leisurely life? And I'm struggling to even find a morsel of bread. Why are they living in a palatial home, and I'm living, outside in this on a park bench? And there's this hatred, this machlokets, this inner conflict, this inner struggle, and it could be, suggest several of the commentaries, that the way to increase peace between the aniyim and the ashirim. Well, if the poor person feels that the person who has been blessed with various levels of money, with various levels of success, with various levels of economic stability, if that person is kind enough to share their wealth, to share their estate with those people who are struggling, the people who are struggling will feel more at ease and will be more at peace with the other levels of the society. So according to this reading of the Mishnah, Marbeh tzedakah, if the person who has the means to do so is Marbeh tzedakah, increases levels of charitable donations, Marbeh shalom, there will be peace in the world between the struggling individuals and those people who are not struggling. And of course, it's very, very important to understand that according to one school of thought, those people who are blessed to have money, often the blessing is contingent on the fact that the person who has been blessed to have that money is willing to share part of that money with the rest of the world. There is another interpretation that suggests that maybe Marbeh tzedakah, Marbeh shalom. If a person increases levels of charity, then he or she is increasing shalom in the world, peace in the world, not peace between people, not peace amongst individuals, but rather peace between people and God. Maybe there's this feeling of resentment, God forbid. I hope it doesn't exist, but in the past it surely has. Sometimes individuals who are being challenged with difficult challenges, especially in areas of economic struggle, feel that God is unfair to them. They feel that they deserve so much more. They feel that they are deserving of divine recognition, and they should be having that which they need. And they feel this strife towards God. Suggest several of the commentaries. Marbet tzedakah. If you will increase charity, marbeh shalom, you will be bringing greater levels of closeness and love, respect and reverence between people and God. That will be the shalom in the world. As the Orach Chaim, in the commentary of the Orach Chaim on the book of Vayikra, on the book of Shemot, it's in his commentary on chapter 23, verse 3 of Shemot. He says, Al derech omram, as the rabbis indicated in the Midrash, Ki he'ani oseh miriva imkono, that the poor person often is fighting God. There's a miriva, there's a struggle between the poor person and God. Lama, why is it? Why is it that everybody else seems to be doing so well? Lama zan lakol. Why is this one okay? That one's okay. This one seems to be able to pay their bills. This one seems to be, covering their mortgage payments. And this one seems to be able to go out and buy clothes. This seems to be able to take trips and excursions. And I don't have anything. V'hu ra'ev uve'erom. And that person is living, God forbid, in hunger. Doesn't have the proper levels of clothing. V'chol hanotein pruta la'ani. The person who provides sustenance for the poor person, umefarneso, and supports him. Hareze mashbit riv ani al hashamayim. He is removing argumentation. He's removing the levels of strife between that person and God. It doesn't mean necessarily that it's always expressed, because it's not always expressed. Sometimes it's something just inside that maybe some people are embarrassed to express. But according to at least this reading in the Orach Chaim, that's a feeling that's often experienced by people who are going through difficulties in this area. Marbet tzedakah, the person who increases tzedakah will be increasing shalom. Mashbit riv ani me'al hashamayim. No longer will the poor person stand in anger and frustration, arguing against God, demanding or feeling that God has done them wrong. And another reading of our text has something to do with a passage in the Talmud in Tractate Bava Mitziah, page 59a, Bava Mitziah Nuntet Amud Aleph. The rabbis discussed there one of the most fundamental principles in Jewish family life, and that's something called Shalom Bayit. Shalom Bayit. Peace in the home, harmony, tranquility in the home. And the way it's used in many, many references is Shalom Bayit, loving peace between husbands and wives, between wives and husbands, to increase levels of shalom in the Bayit. And the rabbis teach a very, very profound insight into the cause of so many struggles in married life. And I quote, Bava Mitziah 59a. Amar Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda teaches, La'olam Yehei Adam Zahir Bitvua Bitoch Beitoch. A person should be careful. A person, perhaps they're speaking specifically to the husband, be careful to make sure that there's plenty of food, that there's plenty of money, that there's plenty of availability in your home. And make sure that there are proper provisions for that which is needed in your household. It's the obligations, one of the obligations actually, that every husband, every Jewish husband, takes upon himself in what we call the ketubah. Va'ana eflah, va'okir, ve'izun, va'afarnes, yathichi lichi. I will support you. It's the obligation of the husband to support his wife. If there's a private arrangement made between husband and wife where, let's say she's independently wealthy, or she's so madly in love with him that she doesn't care if he doesn't give her even one penny, that's fine. But the obligation of Torah is such that a person has to provide tevuah b'toch beito. Says Rav Yehuda, La'olam yehei adam zahir. Be careful. B'tevuah b'toch beito. Make sure that you are providing the necessary aspects of support, of provisions that are necessary in your house, in your family. And listen to these words. She'ein, these are Talmudic teaching. She'ein meriva mitsuya b'toch beito shel adam. For, I'll translate literally, and I don't think it means literally it says, there is never a case of strife in a house except for monetary strife. I don't think it means all cases of strife deal with money, because I think each of us here, even sitting here, I mean, we've heard of cases which seemingly has nothing to do with money. But I don't know. I don't know if you have to read it necessarily absolutely literally, or it means many, many cases, or most cases, or overwhelming majority of cases. She'ein meriva mitsuya b'toch beito shel adam. If, God forbid, someone feels that there's some kind of meriva, the opposite of shalom, going on in his home. Ela al iskei tevuah. It's because he's not sharing the money properly. Because there's some kind of monetary stinginess. There's some kind of selfishness. There's some kind of lack of giving, of sharing with monetary matters. And he quotes a verse, a very interesting pasuk. Many of us say this verse every single day in the traditional Psukei de Zimra, chapter 147, verse 4 of Psalms. Hasam givulech shalom. God establishes your communities, your boundaries, your territories with peace. Helev hitim yasbiech. And God will grant you the best kinds of food, the best kinds of wheat, the best kinds of nourishment. It means if you have chitim, if you're satiated, if you're satisfied with chelev chitim, choice foods could be literally foods or provisions, then hasam givulech shalom. There's plenty of shalom. So therefore, marbet tzedakah, if a person, charity begins at home, and then before giving everybody else tzedakah, before taking care about this one and that one, what about your own family? So perhaps the olam yehei adam zahir b'tevuah b'toch beito, and make sure that you're sensitive to the needs of your spouse. Make sure that you're sensitive to the needs of your children. Make sure that you're running your home in a way where people feel that they have what they need, because that will bring shalom. Marbet tzedakah, marbet shalom. There'll be increased levels of shalom. Amar of Papa. That's where Rav Papa teaches in the Gemara. Hainu damrein shei. This is similar to the expression of the common people in shei. It means this was a common expression in his days. Rav Papa very often quotes the sayings of the street saying, like the popular sayings of his time. It says, Kimishlam Sa'are Mikada. When the jug, when the pitcher, when the bowl runs out of food. Kimishlam, like from the word shalem, when it's no longer there. When the sa'are, when the sorim, when the wheat, when the barley is no longer in the kada. In other words, they open up the closets, there's no food. They open up the pantry, no food. They go to the refrigerator, God forbid, is empty. Kimishlam sa'are mikada. When God forbid that happens, nakish means like there's a knock. And you know who's coming to the door? Fights and argumentation and strife. When there's no food, there'll be a house full of fight. Nakish va'ate tigra beveta. There'll be a tigra in the house and people will be fighting with each other. So this is an amazing insight. I guess this has to be studied by all people who are married, or people who are considering getting married, or people who counsel people who are married. That it's a very, very fundamental principle that there should be economic stability in the home. I'm not blaming any husbands, I'm not blaming any wives. However, we know that there are times where people may not be as sensitive as they should be to the needs of their spouse. We've heard stories. We don't accept lashon hara. We don't accept slanderous stories. But there are stories of people who are extremely, extremely stingy. In the allowance that they give their spouses. They want them to get along with the smallest morsels of food, and buying an outfit once every 10 years, and not allowing them expression, and giving a reckoning, an account for every penny that they spend, and they can't buy an ice cream without perfect consent. Again, I don't mean to criticize anyone, but the rabbis seem to feel that be careful, because if there's not enough tevuah b'toch beito, there could be miriva mitoch beito. Someone once said jokingly that if you want to know levels of how to accomplish shalom bayit. So he said, listen, if your wife is interested in purchasing a certain item, and you don't know, she wants to purchase something. If you want shalom, then buy it. If you want shalom, if you're interested in shalom, buy it. So buy it. I mean, buy it. I mean, just shalom, buy it. I mean, so okay. It doesn't mean you have to buy. Everyone doesn't have to buy their spouses a yacht and a summer home and a winter home and a private airplane. But I mean, within reason, within maybe what's accepted socially, and therefore, according to one school of thought, perhaps Hillel is teaching, Marbet tzedakah. If you'll be just kind, you'll be gracious with your money. Open up your pockets a little bit, open up your wallets a little bit, and increase levels, especially with sensitivity to your own family members. Because we have a teaching in tzedakah, hakarov kodem. The closer the person is to you, the greater is your level of responsibility in terms of obligations of charity. Marbet tzedakah, marbet shalom. If you'll be increasing levels of charity, you'll be increasing levels of peace. We pray for shalom all throughout the world, and especially these troubling days in Eretz Yisrael, generally in Yerushalayim specifically. We're longing for that ultimate shalom. Maybe we can use some of the great teachings of Hillel and employ them and apply them in our lives at whatever levels. Maybe this is an ideal time. If our society is longing for shalom, maybe it's a time to increase charity. And if we increase charity, there'll be increased peace in the world and in Eretz Yisrael, specifically. Thank you so much for listening. Shalom and bracha. Shalom.